Welcome back. We are back with another full call review, and I'll be honest, this one may make you a little uncomfortable because I'm gonna show you a prospect who's probably gonna sound like that little voice in your head that's constantly making excuses. This woman spent 30 to 45 minutes telling me how everything that she is going through is everyone else's fault and not hers, and how she's done everything she can to solve the problem. It wasn't until we had this conversation for her to see that that's not the case. And what's crazy here is this lady is a doctor making multiple six figures a year. She's not some 20-year-old kid trying to start an Amazon FBA store. She's educated, she's sophisticated, yet she's completely given up her power to the external. Again, until we had this conversation. And I'm sure that sounds familiar because a lot of you are doing that. And a lot of the reason I'm able to have these kinds of conversations and be as direct but respectful with these prospects is because I don't believe it, because I don't tell myself those things. Anyway, by the end of this breakdown, you're gonna see exactly why externalizing kills deals, why smart and sophisticated prospects do it, and how to kill it before it kills your close rate. But without further ado, let's dive in. Real quick here, Chris was selling to prospects making anywhere from 400 to 700 grand a year, who are also very smart, yet he was at the bottom of the leaderboards making $3,000 a month. Now, on a new offer, he's consistently been the top guy for 5 months straight, dethroning the guy who was top guy for 14 months and is hitting a consistent $30,000 a month. So if you're tired of losing deals to prospects who blame everything but themselves, hit the link below. I only work with 5 additional new clients every month, so if you check the boxes, if it feels good on both ends, we'll see if that's you. Hit the link to apply. You'll speak directly to me. Now, let's dive into the call. So we're gonna break this down stage by stage of the call, right? And so the first part of the call is obviously the frame, which is telling them how the call is gonna go. We're putting them in a decision-making state, dropping their guard, and we're maintaining high status. So we're not asking them how the weather is. We're not asking them where they're based. We're not having a fake conversation. We are very clearly showing that we're the leader. Let's dive in.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm staying out of trouble. Being the boring guy. How about you? Shout out to Uncle Jeremy.
I think I'm trying to do the same myself.
Okay. The way you said it, it sounds like you're looking for trouble. I don't know if I believe that.
No. People always tell me I cause trouble for myself.
I see.
I'm just trying to see. Yeah, it just happened. I didn't make it home in time, so I'm in my car. Yeah.
Okay. Do you hear me good? So, you don't want to build fake rapport. You also don't want to be a weirdo. So the woman's obviously in a very jolly, happy mood. I'm not just going to completely shoot it down. But it took me 31 seconds, and now I'm diving straight in, right? Her camera's not on. Make sure she gets that shit on.
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. Oh.
Do you see me okay?
My camera's on. Yeah, now you can see me. Okay.
Yes, now I do.
You tell me I cause trouble for myself.
I do. So like you said, you're in the car. You're not driving, are you?
No.
Them being in the car isn't a huge deal if they're not driving. If they're actually going to be present, it's not a huge deal. But if they're going to be driving, I'll reschedule this shit.
I'm parked. Air conditioning's on. I'm good.
Cool. Well, it looks like you're looking at potentially getting some outside support as an advanced provider. Does that sound about right?
Excuse me? I'm getting some what? Outside support?
It looks like you're looking at possibly getting some outside support as an advanced provider. Does that sound about right?
Oh, yeah, I need help.
Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of context here. I'm looking at your application. Sounds like we're struggling to stay present. Sounds like we have charts piling up. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
Okay.
Lots of charts piling up.
Well, I'll make sure we cover it all. My name's Nick. I'm the director of provider wellness. Work with almost 1,000 NPs, PAs, physicians in a pretty similar spot. What I've seen to work best on these calls is we just open up, right? We see what's going on, see if what we're doing here would help.
Okay.
If so, we'll talk about potential next steps. I will say though, we're definitely not for everyone. So if I don't think we could help you out, I'll still point you in the best direction of what could. All right? Will that be helpful?
Okay, that's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Boom. So what do? We frame the call and let her know how it's going to go, maintain high status, then put her in a decision-making state saying if it feels good, we'll talk about potential next steps, and then we dropped her guard and said if not, I'll still point you in the best direction. So there's a chance you're not going to get pitched today.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. So let's rewind a little bit here.
Can I just eat during the session? Sorry.
As long as you eat with your mouth closed, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
It looks so, I guess, in your words. You feel me? I be throwing a little shit in there. When I say not to build fake rapport, again, don't be a weirdo, right? The guard is already up. You just don't want to seem like you're over-validating yourself to them. What would you say is the ultimate challenge, obstacle you're hoping to get some guidance on? So boom, now we're in problem, okay? So what we're looking to get out of problem, and this is a really fucking important part of the call because this is where the sale is either made or lost. And so being able to spot what their actual problems are is something a lot of closers struggle to do. And honestly, it's something you only really be able to get like really good at when you have someone listening to your calls and finding where you missed them, which is obviously why y'all need to hit the link below, but I digress. What we're looking for in this part of the call now is three things. We're looking for the problem itself, we're looking for the impacts of the problem, and the duration. So the problem is more of like the logical stuff, the impacts, the emotional stuff, and then the duration is obviously how long it's been going on for. Let's keep going.
How to get caught up. I'm very behind in, well, I have like 3 jobs. I have my full-time job in the VA. With that one, I try to stay up to date. I've been trying to utilize many different things to help me. At the VA, we even have like an AI now. And I'm always trying different things. But the problem is, like, I work in New York on a Saturday. My charts there are piled up crazy. The other job that I do like 3 days a week, like it's a few hours, like, because I was doing that just to figure out how to get into my own practice. But I have unfinished work that goes back, like, I'm telling you, maybe a year.
Wow. So that's very subtle right there, the wow, right? This is conveying like, fuck, this is worse than I thought. Right? This is how you continue to create more depth within a problem without having to say too much. Something as simple as that, because listen to what she says after my wow.
No, really, I'm a mess. I'm trying to utilize.
No, really, I'm a mess, which means that wow helped her further understand how fucked she is and how big of a problem this is. Let's keep going.
AI.
Okay.
Been helping me, and the information is in the AI that I'm taught.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're still able to like leave work at work. It doesn't follow you home. Now, in hindsight, I think I went a little too emotional too early because this is like going to lead me to an emotional part of the call. But what am I doing here? I'm minimizing the problem so that she can make it bigger. So me saying I'm sure you're able to leave work at work is going to now trigger her to say, fuck no, I wish I was leaving it at work, right? Make it small, they make it big. Pause.
I try not to do. It does follow me home because sometimes I get caught up at the VA with the amount of patience that they give me, and like with all the craziness that's going on there. Is that I work with a population like, say, geriatric psych. So they have like a lot of comorbidities, like other chronic illnesses, stuff like that.
So I want you to catch 2 times that she's just externalized. First time is earlier. She said something about the reason she's so backed up is because she works in New York on a Saturday, right? Now she's saying she has very unique types of patients, which both of those things may be true, but both of those are things that she has no control over, right? She has control over how she shows up and how efficient she is. That's what we need to take the conversation to, right? Can't turn it off.
So they have like a lot of comorbidities, like other chronic illnesses, stuff like that. They come in with wheelchairs, different things like that. So if you're seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4 right after each other, because I don't do my own scheduling. There's other people who do my schedulings.
And there's other people who do her scheduling. So that's 3 externalizations, right? You can't let this shit go over your head.
So recently, it's like a brand new patient, and we're going to give you like 8 follow-ups. Or I may have a day with 1 or 2, and then another day.
Like how often are you finding it following you home? We gotta bring it back to what I asked her, right? That's what I asked her. She's like starting to get off topic.
Well, now I'm finding it following me home like every day. There's always something. Even though we have like 48 hours to finish it, it's like, okay, like if I'm really seeing within 8 hours, I'm seeing 8 of these patients. What time do I have really during that day to complete stuff? So.
And is it just you you're supporting? Do you have a family too?
No, it's just me. It's just me I'm supporting.
Okay, free woman. I love it. And so when we look at it following you home, being consistently behind, what do you see what does it get in the way of outside of work? So we got the problem at a surface level, which is number one. Now we're getting the impacts of that problem, which is what it, what her bringing work home, what that takes away from her, what she's not able to do as a result.
Oh, everything.
I don't want to assume I know what that means. What's everything?
No, everything. I mean, my social life, time off, like, because I feel like I always need to be on, you know, um,
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, I now have like a housekeeper who comes in to clean my apartment because it's time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like they doing my wash recently. Well, that was another thing. I didn't like how the machine in the building that I was working was doing the wash, so I sent out all my wash. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very expensive. I mean, I do, and I do. So, and also like meals, just a lot of things that
Yeah.
if I don't plan to keep it, I'll call out because I don't have the time to do this. But if patients don't show up, it gives me the time to get
Right.
things done. So
What
I'm
elements of your
always,
social life are affected because you can't? You see how I'm getting more and more specific, right? What happened? So we started at she takes work home, and then we led it to it affects her social life. Now I'm going to know what aspects of her social life are affected. I'm not letting her ramble on too much. Because you can't turn it off. You said you always have to be on.
I'm shopping.
What
Mhm.
elements of your social life are affected in that way?
Oh, everything like scheduling, planning things ahead is difficult because I always feel like only when I know the things are done, then I can really make a commitment or really say what I'm doing. Because when you have so much going on in your head, it's very hard to say really how you feel about something.
Right.
Really being like this weekend, my friend was going to come down and visit, but I didn't really know what to do planning because I'm here trying to get this part of my life straightened out
Mm-hmm.
and then trying to make sure things are kind of like organized to a certain degree. So by
Yeah.
the time I'm free and present to now free and present
Mm-hmm.
to now let me just think free and present to now work within to think about okay what do you want to do. It's like
Right.
I'm bombarded by all the other stuff that I've been trying to take care of. So
Right.
that is what I find is happening. And this stuff is something that just didn't start with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my friends, like a nurse practitioner, like
And give me a little clarity. Pause, because I don't give a fuck about her friend, right? We're here to talk about her. That's why I jumped in. Everything she was saying up until then was relevant. Now it's starting to get irrelevant. And I'm going to ask her a probing question. A little clarity there. So you said planning things ahead is difficult, like your friend's going to come down. I know obviously you said you're a free woman, right? Only supporting yourself.
yeah.
Who else is affected by this, though? By your relationship with work? See, the reason I asked if it's just her she's supporting or if she has a family is because then her bringing work home obviously is going to allow me to bridge the gap into her not spending time with her family. But she doesn't have a family, right? She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have kids. So I want to know, well, what else does that affect for you? Who else is affected? That's how you find problems, guys. Don't let this shit go over your head, right? Every single question is intentional. Everything's premeditated. Let's keep going.
Well, I think even I think it's just even the quality time that I spend with my family. How can I really plan time for myself? Plan time to interact in a more not here and go with friends. Like it's only the friends who are probably more available at
Mhm.
work, and I may hang out after with them, but to make plans with other people and to even do all the interests that I like. I find that I'm not doing this weekend.
Mhm.
Like I have time off, so I didn't work because one of my friends said, "You're the first person I know. You have time off on one job, but you work on the other job." So
Right.
I'm never really off. I'm either I have to try to balance much more on my plate, and the reason why I was doing it.
How is that? How is it balancing everything? Do you see how my interruptions are when she starts to get irrelevant, right? She just gave me really good sauce here and she said that she's struggling to balance everything. This is a good question right here, right? How is it balancing everything? And you can also see that everything that I ask her is directly related to what she said before. I'm not bringing up new shit. I mean, I guess I kind of do with the family thing, but I'm not bringing up new shit. I'm only stringing it along off of what she said. This is what makes your calls feel conversational and not in like an interrogation and not like you're trying to get something out of them. Let's keep going.
No, it doesn't balance. It doesn't balance, and that's why when I was because I've worked with Gail before. I've gone to some of her.
Mm-hmm.
I know about her because I've gone to some of her mindfulness retreats
Okay.
that she had up there in Massachusetts. So I have some idea, and I'm interested in mindfulness. Because being in
Hmm.
mental health, like you're aware of how to be more present. I mean, I try to do that when I'm with my patients. I'm just focus on them, but
Hmm.
with myself is where I need the help of how to really manage time to take care of myself better
Right.
and not to always be trying to catch up. That's the problem.
And
I'm always catching up.
you said something key I don't want to skip over about quality
Mhm.
time with family and friends. So like
I don't miss anything, right? I'm dialed, I'm present. She just gave me some sauce there about quality time with her family. I want to know what that means.
when we
Yeah,
look at the time that you do have with family and friends, what do you see with that time that makes you feel like it's not exactly quality time?
because I'll show up, but I'm showing up because I'm working like 6 days a week. So
Hmm.
I work Monday to Friday in the VA, and then 3 days a week I may do 2 or 3 hours, 6 hours, 8, 9 hours for the maybe 10, the most. It's not like that's very inconsistent. But then on a Saturday, I drive down 3 hours to New York because my family's here and I have a place to stay.
Hmm.
I've always lived in New York before I moved to Massachusetts.
Hmm.
So, like, I will be down here on a Saturday, work this one job, and that's where stuff is backed up because I don't have the time to complete it because now on Sunday, I'm now free. This is my day off.
Hmm.
But I also have to get back to Massachusetts 3.5, 4 hours.
Hmm.
So during
So
the time
what
on a
makes you
Sunday,
I'm letting her talk because I'm like, okay, maybe it's going to get somewhere relevant, but then it doesn't. And then I interrupt again.
what yeah, like that's what I'm curious on what you're about to say there. What makes you feel like that time isn't quality time?
because now I have a lot of family. So on that Sunday, I may just stop in and say hi, hello, see how they're doing, spend 1 or 2 hours with them, and that's it, or either buy breakfast for everyone, hey guys, boom, boom. But so I'm not seeing them consistently. Like one of my nieces said,
Mm,
I'm like a subway. I pop in and pop out. That's why it's not quality time.
wow. A subway. That's an interesting way to put it.
That's some shit I would have never got. That she just said that her family says that she is like a subway because she comes in and out. Pause. That sounds crazy. But this is huge right here because this is how she defines the problem. Think about if that's what her family calls her. Think about every time how she feels every time she hears the word subway or every time she's at a subway or fucking sees a subway. The relationship that she has just with that word, where it brings her back to, how unpresent she is, how work is so draining, right? This is powerful shit, and this is the type of things you can bring up in objection handling. Let's keep going.
How old is your niece?
Uh,
How old is your
she's,
niece?
oh, she's like 50.
Oh, okay, okay. And like
I come from a big family.
hearing it that way, because that's an interesting way to put it, is you're like a subway, you're in and out, you stop in, you spend an hour or two, and that's it.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you hear it that way?
Whoo! How does that make you feel?
Oh, um, it was a very truthful, you know, assessment. I mean, we laugh about it, but then it doesn't make me feel very good because I feel like I'm on the run. I've had to do this in a way to take care of myself
Mm-hmm. The
and to
laughing?
gain an experience. What did you say?
You're saying the laughing is part of it, like to take care of yourself when we
Oh
laugh
no,
at it?
oh no, no! I laughed because I know it was truthful.
Okay.
It was a truthful assessment. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I don't like, and I would like to say, like for instance, okay, if I compare myself, okay, to that subway who's going from one stop to the next, was really, I think that's a good, really description of my life. It's like, okay, I need to be able I need to change my train schedule so I can kind of like stop and have quality time, get things done,
Right.
be able to not to be on the rush hour. You know how you have different times. It's the
Right.
peak, off peak. I need to be very off peak on an off peak level.
Yeah.
But what has happened is to be able to, land my career, work, do all the things that I've done. I've had to make certain choices.
So a red flag here, and I'm curious if I hit on this, is that she just told me that she laughs when she's told shit like she's a subway. Red flag, because nothing's funny about that. And what that means is that she's normalized it. And number two, she's further enforcing how much of a reality this is for her, how accurate of a description that is for her life. This is key shit to not let go over your head, right?
Choices, pay bills, do all this stuff. You're trying to do all these things, but I've been really, for the past, it's been over like 10, 11 years, I've been trying to play catch up.
You said you've been feeling this way for how many years?
10, 11 years, I've been trying to play catch up in different ways.
Wow. Time out for a second. Time out. Time out. Time out. Can I ask you more?
You mind?
Can I ask you more of a personal question?
Yeah.
I've had so many mentors, right? This is something I learned from a mentor named Kyle. Being able to throw the hands up, time out, time out, time out. Can I ask you a personal question? Because this draws them in more, and then asking them a hard-hitting question. I'd say like 80% of the time, I mean, it didn't happen here, but this question will get you some tears.
How are you? Playing catch up for 11 years, how are you actually doing?
Oh, the reason why is because one thing, I do take the time to have therapy, to do different things to keep me going throughout all of this. You know what I mean? I'm at the point where I think physically, like now, in some of the self-care, my health is where I see it showing, like the weight gain, certain things like that. So that's where it is. Because one of the things is that I am aware, I have the awareness, and I'm trying to make steps to correct it. That's why I reached out, because I tried to do this before.
You've tried, like you can.
So something I said in the intro here is not letting prospects lull you to sleep, right? With like these perfect answers. Now, she just told me here that she knows how fucked her situation is. She's aware of it and she's trying to take steps. This is the language of someone who has normalized their situation, normalized it. Because she's aware of it and she's trying to take steps. Not that she's taking steps. And it's been 11 years, meaning this is the norm. Like she doesn't know anything outside of this for the last 11 years. Really think about that shit. Really think about what needs to be done to move someone who has been suffering and pain for 11 years and done absolutely nothing about it to getting them to move and do something about it and do it on that call. It's just not easy, but you're here, you're watching this. So I'm gonna get you right. Let's keep going.
Consider coaching before?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago?
Maybe even a year ago, something.
What prevented you from doing coaching then?
Because I just didn't follow through.
Listen to how normalized that is. Like, that's just an everyday thing. I just didn't follow through. What the fuck you mean you just didn't follow? So you're telling me you've been suffering and pain for 11 years. You've been a subway of the family for 11 years. 1 year ago, you decided to change something about it and you just didn't follow through. You can't let this type of shit slide, dog. I guarantee if you do, like regardless, women like this is gonna have objections at the end, but I guarantee if you do not challenge that, it's going to be an objection that you are not gonna get past. Because what is she gonna tell you? I hear you, you're right, everything you're saying is true, but I just need to think about it for a night. But I just can't do this. You need to unnormalize this shit. Let's keep going.
Just one of the sessions like this.
And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing too, before I keep going, is it's hard, I always say this in my videos, but it's hard to be able to hear stuff like this. It's hard to be able to catch stuff like this when this is what you're telling yourself. When you're telling yourself, I know I need to change. I know I need to get the support to be on a better offer, right? Where I can actually make the money I need to make. I know I need to get the training to be able to last on a good offer. I know that I need to level up my game and I need to take the next step and invest into doing so, but I'm just gonna watch a bunch of YouTube videos. But I'm just gonna go to every webinar I can, go to get every lead magnet I can, knowing that I need something more advanced. This sounds like the shit that a lot of you tell yourselves. So of course it's gonna be tough to call it out. And when you say things like, well, I hear it, I just don't know what words to say, I don't know what questions to ask, I don't know how to call it out, it's because you haven't called it out within yourself. So take what I'm saying here, implement the shit, because you're gonna see results just as a result. You're gonna see success as a result of implementing it to a degree. But just know we're only fixing the symptom here. We're not fixing the actual problem. The actual problem is you need to get out of your own way and get the support that you need so you can stop spinning your wheels. Let's keep going before y'all piss me off.
What do you think was behind you not following through?
Probably have to catch up on something. I probably have to catch up on something.
What the fuck is funny? You see my face here? I'm not laughing at all because the shit's not funny. She's normalized her pain so much, and didn't she say that earlier, that she uses laughter as a cope? Let's keep going.
Let me ask you this. Is it fair to say that we've seen this happening for 11 years and we haven't been as proactive as we can to solving it?
I think I've been proactive, but I think what it is that I can now see the effects of how it's affecting me. I think before the awareness of what is happening, I didn't have a full clear picture. Because the main thing, really, I've been focused on, because one thing, like I'll just telling a friend, another nurse practitioner,
Mhm.
because that's one thing, being a person of color, and I wanted to become like a nurse practitioner.
Mhm.
Want to get the experience and not being in environments where people were supportive enough, right? I did a residency and I took a pay cut. I moved, and that's like when I make the decision to make a pay cut, like back in 2014, moved to South Carolina, and where that put me financially, you know, back because I wanted to gain the experience of the knowledge. So I'm not losing what I went to school for.
Mhm.
And then landing the job in Massachusetts, say in 2015, and then being there, and that's why I say catch up, because like once I finished that residency, I
Mhm.
had to find a job, used all my savings, then have to get savings to get into to move to Massachusetts,
And this is 10
and
years 10 years ago, right? If I'm following.
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And you say catch up. Would you say you're like fully caught up financially, or are we still in the playing catch up there?
Well, I'm better off financially with the catch up because I would spend the same time.
I can't say that one more time. You cut out. Say that last thing one more time. You cut out. You froze up a little bit.
I said yes. I had said I had a job. I was in Massachusetts, but it still wasn't earning enough money because I was trying to get caught up because since moving, blah blah blah. So that's why I had gotten the job in New York. I used to do that
Mhm.
every other weekend to help to
So,
you know.
and the context is helpful. So when we look at now, we're in a good place financially.
So ultimately, the reason she didn't do anything, if you guys are on the same page here, is that earlier, well, a couple 10, years prior, she took a pay cut and was in a bad financial place, right? So that means that we now need to find out when she's been in a better financial place to be able to actually fix the situation, to know what is the time frame on which I'm challenging her. All right, where we're in now, by the way, this stage of the call, where past problems is now ethical gaslighting, which sounds crazy, but the main objectives here is to find out what they've done to try to solve this, challenge them on either not doing anything or not doing enough, and then ask them for their permission to keep them accountable to all this shit. In other words, objection handle them. So right now, I'm finding out what she's done, and I haven't fully been able to get her to. I haven't challenged her on the fact that it's not enough. I tried to by asking her if it's fair to say she hasn't been proactive. She didn't agree, right? So now I got more context, and I'm finding out the time frame that I can challenge her, right? Just in case y'all are sleeping, let's keep going.
Financially now.
Yeah, because in between there, you see, I went back to get my DMP
Mm-hmm.
when I was in Boston. That was almost my goal.
Mm-hmm.
But now finally I've gotten like loan forgiveness. So thank God that's all kicked off,
Good.
and yeah.
Good.
So I'm in a month that I was in.
So for how many years would you say you've been in a better financial place?
I mean, I think it's only now I would say that. I know I do spend because I pay for my own therapy and stuff like that in between this. So I mean I am in a much better place because
Mm-hmm.
when I think about my earnings, where I am right now and what I can do, I I think
Okay.
it's a little bit better
Okay.
that I don't have. And I think also too, because a lot of the, like saying the experience, do I know this? And I think
Right.
I've already landed in that part, expertise, experience, blah, blah, blah.
And like, can I offer?
So, pausing again here, like taking all the sales shit out, this is genuinely a woman who needs our help, who needs the program that I was selling at the time's help. And she's probably like a few years older than my mom, right? And she's an older black lady. And like I see her and I would have this same conversation with my mom if she was externalizing and helping her get out of her own way. And so when we take the sales shit out of it and we humanize it, like the person who is booking is here because they have a problem that they have not been able to solve. And it is your fucking duty to help them get out of their own way and to lead them towards a decision that is going to help them get to their outcomes and get out of their own way. Which I know I just said this earlier, starts with you leading yourself. You have to be able to lead yourself before you can lead anybody else, before you can help a woman like this who's stuck in these patterns, who thinks everything is everyone else's fault, has been in this place for 11 years. Starts with you. Your prospects need you. They are depending on you to step it the fuck up. Let's keep going.
For a perspective without potentially offending you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that we've seen this happen, not having social life, playing catch up, being behind, We've seen this happening for 11 years, but we haven't 100% done everything that we can in our power to get the support so that we're not consistently drowning and playing catch up.
No, I've always tried to. I'm the kind
Right? Still not landing because she's like, no, it's not fair to say. After I got the context, I'm like, okay, we're going to ask that bitch again. That bitch as in the question. I'm not calling her a bitch, but we're going to ask that question again, and it still didn't land, right?
of person is that if it wasn't I reach out to different individuals, for support and help, like how I can make it better, this and that. That's one thing that I that I do. I'm always trying to see how I can make things better for myself.
So coming from a good place here, right? Trying and seeing how we can make things better versus not taking those steps because of, like you said, not following through.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we really look at that and be real with me, if we really look at that and we really look in the mirror, can you truly say I have been in this place for 11 years and I have done everything that I can to get out of it?
Right? This is where the aggression starts to turn up a little bit. And in a, like, obviously I'm still being respectful and polite because at this point I'm like, okay, this woman is a bit delusional here because she's really looking in the mirror and telling herself that I have done everything in my power to change my situation. And that's not the case. There's no way you've done everything in your power and it's been 11 years. And so now you can, and this is, we're like 20 minutes in, like you can be able to raise the aggression and hold them to a high standard because of the context you have, right? And she's thinking long and hard.
Because I think that's what have me at this point right now. Following through with Gail to this, with this program to try to do it because at different times I've met with another nurse practitioner, how to manage stuff because,
to try to do it. Like, this isn't me being nitpicky. The language that she's using is important because it's a reflection of how she's thinking.
one of the things that also affects the ability to do your work is when you're working in different systems where there's different things happening. So it's not just the workload, but it's
While this, what she's saying may be right, we're back to externalizing.
also trying to deal with.
Yeah, there's always external stuff for sure.
And also, let me say this of why, besides like it's good for the sale or whatever, like why it's so important to call out externalizations and not let them continue to live, to think that way. Is because if they don't see the problem as something that they have had control over in being, well, then obviously they're not going to see the solution as something they have control over. Like, if a big person thinks that they're big because of their genetics, well, then their genetics would have to change for them to not be big anymore until they could look in the mirror and know it's because I don't work out and I eat like a fat fuck and that's why I'm big, right? So in her case here, she has to see it as a problem she's created because then she's empowered to be able to see it as something she can solve too. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So some of it, it's like I have to focus on the external stuff to keep me focused, so I can do my job.
Let me hold a mirror up of something that you said earlier. You said you explored it a year ago, some type of coaching, but didn't follow through on it. Like if we really, again, coming from a respectful place here though, if we really had to look at that, and the fact that you didn't do it is because of your own follow through, can we truly say that we've done everything in our power to get out of the situation that we have been in for 11 years? Because if we can't come to terms with that, the challenge is this is how you stay stuck.
I'm ripping that way of thinking away from her, and I'm teaching her how to think by saying if you don't come to terms with what I'm saying, this is what's going to keep you stuck here. And I'm able to do this because of all the authority I've built throughout the call too.
Well, I will say yes. I've been trying.
Third time that she has not agreed to the fact that she has not done enough to solving this, right? It's not always going to be black and white. Let's keep going.
Trying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Trying. So trying is exploring coaching. Trying. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a light bulb moment here. Like, we used to work with really overweight people, 300 plus pounds. Okay.
I'm going to give you a light bulb moment, which again is assuming that what I'm saying is truth. You just don't see it yet, which is okay. I'm patient. I'm going to work with you until you see it. But what I'm saying is truth. And I'm going to help you see that, and you're going to have a light bulb moment. This is true leadership.
Okay. A lot of times I would ask them what they've done, and that word come about. I've tried.
And this is the same overweight shit that I just said to y'all.
Tried different workouts. I've tried to get 10,000 steps. But
Now it's already done.
here they were in front of me, 300 plus pounds though, right? Because they tried. So when you say you've tried for 11 years, but here we are, is it a fair assessment to say that we haven't done enough and we've dabbled and we've tried, but we haven't done and fully followed through? Because otherwise we wouldn't be here 11 years later, a decade later.
Well, I'll give you that. Maybe done and followed.
Okay.
Okay, boom. Now we're getting somewhere. I'll give you that. Maybe I haven't done and followed through. So what is happening here? What's happening is in her mind, she thinks trying is enough. She thinks trying is enough. And she thinks that being on this call is doing what? Trying. She said that earlier. Gotta know how to listen for language. She said, I'm on this call to try to see if I can maybe hop on this program or join this program. And for 11 years, she's been trying and she thinks trying is enough. So what's going to happen at the end of the call if this type of shit's not called out? Obviously, she's going to have some kind of reason to not move forward. And she feels like she's getting closer to her goals because she feels like trying is the same as progress. Now, as a result of the conversation we're having here, I'm able to show her that this way of thinking is what's kept her stuck for 11 motherfucking years. I was 15 11 years ago. I was playing 2K and shit. And she's still been struggling with the same thing back when I was playing 2K. Think about that shit. Do not take your sales calls lightly. This is literally someone's life on the other side. They, again, are depending on you to step it the fuck up. Let's keep going.
That's stress.
Totally.
So, yeah, so that's the benefit of why now.
Totally. And you said something, and again, I probably sound like I'm being nitpicky. Language is important, right? You said something a couple minutes ago, and you were like, that's why I'm here. Right? I'll tell you that the thing with that, if that's why I'm here, let's say you're hungry, and then you go to the kitchen, and then you open up your fridge doors. The reason you're there is because you're hungry. You see what food you have, and then you close the doors, and you go back to your room. You see? Like, there's a difference between being in motion and taking action. For 11 years, Maria, we've been in motion. And so when it comes to now taking that action, are you ready to put yourself in an uncomfortable position and actually take action and get out of motion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, if that way of thinking of trying, right, or the things that are holding you back, if that way of thinking were to show itself, would we as your coaches have your permission to keeping you accountable to overcoming that?
Boom. What do we got here? So finally got her. So we found out what she's tried to do. Step one. Step two is to get her is challenge her on the fact that she hasn't done anything to solve a problem, or she hasn't done enough. So in her case, she hasn't done enough. And then now we are asking for her permission to keep her accountable if that way of thinking were to show up. This is how you effectively rip away a way of thinking that does not serve someone, or you start to plant the seeds for them to act in alignment with the version of themselves that does actually reach those outcomes. Let's keep going.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I realized. I realized I need accountability.
Are you sure? I'm not always this nice.
I'm not always this nice. I'm not always this nice, okay? Because there may be a point in this call where you tell me that you need to sleep on it. That's ultimately what I'm saying. Not always this nice, though.
I said, are you sure? I'm not always this nice.
Oh, it's okay. I've dealt with many.
Good. Because the thing is, we'll fight, kick, and scream to stay comfortable, even if it's not serving you, even if you're not getting the life that you want out of it. And so,
shout out to Cole Gordon. That's what I got from him. Is we'll fight, kick, and scream to stay comfortable, even if it's not serving us. What does fighting, kicking, and screaming mean? It's fucking objections, guys. Like, you feel me? You see where we're going here? It's objections. Fight, kick, and scream to stay comfortable. So at the end of the call, when she fights, kicks, and screams to stay comfortable, what am I going to do? I'm going to just remind her of the conversation that we had earlier of her internalizing that she hasn't done enough. Shit's too easy, dog. Let's keep going.
So as long as if you were to fight, kick, and scream, to figuratively to stay in that comfort zone, as long as we can keep you accountable and empower you to getting out of it, that'll be the key thing. So as long as we have that permission.
Oh, yeah, because, because one thing, working in mental health and, with what suggestion I provide for my patients, it's the same suggestion that I need to go through too. So I can make a change and to be able to be on my best side. That's what it is about living.
This shit is such a mirror because she just said the advice that she gives her patients is the same advice that she needs to have. Who does that sound like? You fuckers, right? The same exact objections that you get on your calls are the same ones that you give yourself. So you trying to objection handle your prospect and it's not landing because you're trying to objection handle yourself and it's not landing, right? This is like a whole different industry, a whole different situation, but the principle is true. The law of the mirror. Life is a mirror.
So the things that in my own self-discovery of what keeps me in my way is what I'm, right now is, willing to face and to make the change so I can have a better life, and
for sure.
Be able to, and it's the anxiety, it's the stress. And one of the things, it's learning how to, I do believe in a mindset it's, like you may know for a certain concept, but you need help to be able to get there, to make end results. Like I know what needs to be done, but it's difficult for me to do it on my own. So I know that I need, this support to be able to make
really good
the
awareness.
change. because
What did she just say? I know what needs to be done, but I don't know how to do it by my own, right? But I can't do it by myself, right? Again, asking for accountability. So what sense does it make for someone like this to go away and think about it? It makes no sense, because what is she going to think about it through? The lens that has gotten her to this point, because our brains are designed to keep us comfortable. This is why think about it is not a valid objection, because obviously they have a flawed decision-making process around the thing that they're coming for help around. Why would they think about it through that lens? Which is ultimately what she's admitting to here. Let's keep going.
Because one of the things is, I was saying something, but my mind just totally left me. But
No worries.
that's really
that's good awareness.
No, but that's really why I know, the benefit, of the coaching, because I have come to, like, in doing like my own, like, say, being quiet, being mindful. Like I told someone this weekend was my reflective weekend. It was good not working and stopping and just looking at me, sitting with me with my own. Like, okay, Maria, this is what you like. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Those kind of questions, because you answer it.
And that's really good awareness. And I'll tell you this, right? The thing about people who, like myself, like I'm obviously very conscious of how the brain works, right? The problem with the awareness is sometimes we can see that this is the thing that's holding me back. We know that's what we need to overcome, but it's so comfortable to continue allowing it to hold you back, because doing something else means that you have to step out of comfort. You see what I'm saying?
And this is really important with smart people, because smart people know why they're stuck for the most part. They know what's holding them back, but yet they continue to stay stuck, and they over intellectualize the problem, right? They look at the problem and they're just like, they're just too fucking smart for their own good. Okay, I'm partially guilty of this. And that this is important to call out, because again, it's ripping away this way of thinking of I know what needs to be done, but it's like, okay, you need to fucking do it though.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was getting to, because it's where the chaos that you're used from childhood or whatever, it's the familiar, and we stay in that course and we stay in that club. Because doing something different is like, oh, like, what's happening? I don't like this. So you say you stay in that comfort zone. So I think maybe those are some of the things throughout like those 11 years that it's like to stick with it. And so that's why I need the accountability.
For sure. And now that you have it, if you don't take it, that's a decision. That's an active decision, right?
Again, ripping ways of thinking away from it. Now that you have the awareness, if you don't do it, that is an active decision ultimately to stay the same.
Yes.
And what was it that you saw about Dr. that gave you some kind of...
So boom, now we're done. Moving on. We challenge her. She's taking ownership. Now we're moving into what's called heaven stage, or the solution stage. And what's happening here is we're going to have them sell us on our solution. So why us? What did you see about us? And then we're going to future pace them to what does success look like. And sometimes, not always, we're going to identity frame them in who's the 2.0 version of themselves, is what I like to call it, is the version of themselves who's ultimately getting out of their own way. And of course, moving forward. Before we keep going, I know I've ranted on this a couple times because it's so fucking important, and you're only going to get so much out of a free YouTube video. Like, I obviously hold back a big majority of the sauce here. It's for my paid students. We're going to talk about Julian for a second. Okay, Julian, I actually met Julian in an elevator in Miami. At that time, Julian was making like $2 to $3 grand a month. I didn't even try to sell him on anything. Okay, he moved forward with me. A couple months later, we reconnected. He moved forward. He was in a tight financial place, which he doesn't have a problem with me saying that. Like, we had to get really creative to make it work. We had to use credit cards, all types of shit. To now, less than 6 months later, Julian is making $20,000 a month. And what's even crazier about Julian is he moved to fucking Houston from Miami to take on an offer. How many of you's balls are that fucking big that you're going to move cities? I'm not going to lie, I've never even done no shit like that for a job. He moved all the way to a different city for a job. And even after doing that, he was on the verge of getting let go. Again, Julian is hitting consistent 20K months now. I preach getting out of your own way because of how important it is, and because of how many people I have seen change their lives as a result of doing that. And what someone like Julian figured out that 99% of closers never will is you cannot refuse to close somebody who does not take ownership over their problems. And you cannot get someone to take ownership over their problems if you don't take ownership over yours. And what working with me looks like is very close and intimate one-on-one. Pause. I know the intimate should sound crazy, but you know what I mean. But we dive deep into human psychology. We dive deep into language patterns, into body language, into tonality, and the things that make people either stay the same or make a life-changing decision. So if you're ready to get out of your own way and actually be congruent with the things you're trying to get your prospects to do, just hit the link in the description. You're going to speak directly to me, and we're going to see if it's a win-win and get you to those 20 to 30K months. Let's keep going with the call.
I hope that, okay, maybe there is another side. Maybe I don't have to keep doing this, living this way. What made you feel that way?
Because like I said, I've gone to 2 for retreats. I mean, okay. And so I know a little bit about her background, her history. And she said how she's a component that she's to get a better life. And I was like, this is very interesting because recently I've been trying to use, to try to get out of this using AI and using things, but I realized that there was something still missing. You know, it's like I have all the information in the AI, I need to put it in the chart. I'm still behind. I'm still whatever. So I said, there is probably something I can learn that despite having these things and all the advertisement of, oh, I have time now to live because I have AI. I was like, how accurate and how real is it?
Doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, right. Like what? Yeah. So, and I know, and I know that even though I'm busy, like when I do know what mindfulness does. It's very helpful, and so it's and I know like her work or experience, and have done some of the work with her. And I do like mindfulness. I do like that kind of holistic. I like a very holistic way about doing things about life. I know mind. I'm always working in that arena too. Yeah.
It's good that you're familiar with her. Because like sometimes when people don't really know who we are and they just see us, they get a little skeptical. But the fact that you've seen her over and over is like, okay, you know that she's obviously the real deal, so that's good.
This is planting a belief right here, right? This is reinforcing the belief there that she's not skeptical, that she knows that she's the real deal because she's seen her before, because she's seen the influencer before, right? This is the small shit that helps you move deals along quickly and embedding commands, right?
And
that's one thing I like.
Or not embedding commands, planting beliefs. You know what I fucking mean.
She's worked in end of life medicine. That's good. Yeah. So it's a lot.
Yes. And we're talking about what we're getting away from, what we need to let go of, but where are we actually going? Like,
boom. Now we're about a future pacer.
Let's say we're 6 months out, maybe it's December, end of December. What will be the signs you've been able to overcome this? Like, what will things have to look like?
What will have to look like that Maria knows how to get caught up with all her notes.
Okay.
I'm following through. It's into with a plan that I planned.
You're cutting out a little bit. You're cutting out a little bit. I think the last thing I heard is Maria knows how to get caught up on her notes and she's following through. What'd you say after that?
Yes, and I can plan to spend quality time with my family.
So that's what
and I have time for myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I can spend the weekend, spend time, and say, okay, I'm gonna go to here. I'm gonna go to this museum. I'm gonna go to that I don't have to feel like all the work is following me.
Yes.
That's why I'm trying to downsize with work anyway. So yeah. And if I do start my own practice, I need to be able to know how to balance things.
Agreed.
So there's a lot of reasons.
And like I always minimize a program specifically because if the systems, templates, and efficiency, that's key. But who you need to become, that's even bigger key. And so when we look 6 months from now, that woman, we can call her Maria 2.0. What characteristics or traits does she have?
Hold on. Just want to put my charger in because I want the phone to start. Okay.
No worries.
Okay, Maria. Not doing one of those numbers, right?
Now we're identity framing her, right? Who does she need to become?
Okay. At the end of the day, at the end of the week, okay, that my charts are completed within 48 hours. That at the end of the week, I leave that I don't take work home with me. That I can close the door from work and the after hours time that I have in my home to be able to have the time to do the things that really matter, taking care of my own personal self, what I need for my self-care.
Right.
And not being overwhelmed or stressed.
Right.
Because it's true. Because one of the things too, from being this fast-paced place is sitting back and be able to look at all my bills together. You know what I mean? I don't have time to really pace myself. So that's one of the things that would really help me.
Yeah. And what do you think when we look at it right now and be real, right? I want to help. What do you think we would have to let go of? What mindsets or perspectives if we really want to see that woman?
That's a good question.
I know it's a fucking good question. This is what I do. I do this shit. I ask questions for a living. Let's keep going.
can unpack it together.
Hmm?
I said we can unpack it together. What kinds of things we need to let go of?
She's been deep in thought in a lot of this call, which is good because that means she's not just giving knee-jerk reactions. She's actually sitting and thinking about what she says.
It looks like you froze up on me, or maybe you're just deep in
No,
thought.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking about
No, you
what
actually are
what you're
frozen.
saying.
You actually are frozen. Here, I'll help you out. I'll turn your camera off and then turn it back on.
I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Is there? Oh, hold on.
If you're on Wi-Fi, I would just turn your Wi-Fi off.
I'm not on Wi-Fi. No, I'm using my Hello, Maria. Okay, it's fine.
Yes, you're back. You're back. Cool.
Oh, hello, Maria. How you doing? Okay, go ahead.
What do we need to let go of? Not serving you.
You know, that's one thing I don't sit down and do. Like with the time elements, to say exactly like, Maria, what do you need to let go? Make a plan of how to give yourself the time. Like, I know these things, but it's my following through.
So what did she, like, I need y'all to hear all this shit. Don't let this shit go over your head, okay? What did she just say here? She said, this is something that I actually haven't sat down and thought about what I need to let go of, what's not serving me, what I need to double down on, right? Because she's been living in this same pattern every single day for 11 years. Think about what you were doing 11 years ago. And think about not having balance in your family, looking at you as a subway for all that time. That's this woman's life here. And she just said that she hasn't actually sat down and she's about to say taken accountability and really had this conversation with herself until now. See, some of you who see sales as something manipulative, as see something that we do to people as opposed to for people, will hear a call review like this and be like, fuck, Nick, this is so manipulative, right? You're obviously asking her certain questions to get certain outcomes. That, like, this is so unethical. And it's not. You're fucking wrong if you think that. It could be unethical if you have the wrong intentions, but I am looking at a woman here who desperately needs to do something to change her situation. She's massively in her own way, and she sees this problem as something that the world has created and not her. And that until now, she hasn't actually sat down and taken ownership and accountability for why she's here until we had this conversation. It's my third time saying this, but your prospects are depending on you to step it the fuck up outside of just making a sale. Making a sale is great. Think about it this way. Let's say you're closing a $10,000 program, okay? You making a sale is a band, okay? You're gonna make a band. A band is great. Maybe you'll have a dinner, maybe you'll pay a bill, whatever, okay? But what are they gonna get? They are gonna get a problem solved that they have been dealing with for years, assuming they actually follow through with it for years. So you have to always keep that in your mind that this person is depending on me to be able to step it up and challenge them. Let's watch these last few minutes here.
Plan of how to give yourself the time. Like, I know these things, but it's my following through and accountability and doing it. I don't.
Okay. So your lack of following through is something we'd have to let go of?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of plays into the same point, right? But like, what about the fact that we're telling ourselves that we're trying and not doing, right? Like, what about that mindset of actually doing and not telling?
We're obviously preventing objections here, right? We're obviously preventing objections because what I said earlier, she's been in the mindset of trying is enough, right?
Ourselves that we're trying. You think we'd have to let go of that?
Give you that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't like a gotcha moment, by the way, right? I'm not putting you in.
No, I know that. No, I know that. This is just part of my humor in the way how I just do stuff. When I say things like that. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I really should have called her out on laughing, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't.
Maybe the right.
It's like learning to call it what it is. Calling it what it is. That's what. Yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly. Because that's what keeps people stuck, right? And like maybe the better question is,
Boom. That's future pace, right? Now we're getting into consequence. What happens if nothing changes? What happens if she stays the same? Do you see how smooth this transition is? Pay attention to how smooth this shit is.
are you ready? Because like right now we're making decisions from like a blurry lens, right? Where our glasses are blurry, and that's why we're here. Are you willing to make decisions from a place of 2.0? And when you make your decisions thinking, well, what would the woman who I want to be, what would she do? Are you willing to adapt her decision making?
Come on, like, you know what we're doing here, right? Getting her to identify with the version of herself that is out of the situation, and is she ready to make decisions like her, right? The shit's easy, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm here.
That's motion. It's not action yet, right? Because
Yeah, but
what we
that's
have
what I
to,
mean.
that's good. That's good that you're here. And we have to look at the alternative, right? What's the other side of that? What happens if another year or another 2 years go by and
I
there's
don't
still
want that.
nothing in
That's why
place?
I'm here. I don't want that. I don't
What are
want
the
that.
consequences of another? What are the consequences though of another 2 years of nothing changing because we keep telling ourselves that story? What happens then?
It's not the way I won't be living, my authentic life. I won't be living. It'll just be too much chaos and unnecessary stress. I don't need to be in a place like that.
Right. And from a place of respect, when I say this, like, are you willing to continue settling for that though?
Settling for what? Maria 1.0?
For not living your authentic life and having all the chaos that we've allowed in 11 years? Are you willing
Oh
to?
no. Oh no, I want that.
Okay. Okay. Again, I know I'm challenging you here, but this is only the beginning if you really want to get out of this.
Yeah, oh no, I don't want that. That's why I'm here. This is my reflective weekend. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And as
That's what
long
I'm
as you're
calling it.
clear,
Yeah.
as long as you're clear that being here is a good first step, but it's not exactly enough to solving it, and action is what is required to solving it. As long as you
Exactly.
yes. Yeah. So what assuming you find a path, something feels good, it feels like it could get you there, are you ready to now move from motion to action? Totally. I think I saw half on. Cool. Well, let's not let it get there.
And boom, just like that, we got her. The rest of it is the pitch, some objections that she gave. As always, like, discovery is where the sale is made, right? Now, when you get objections, the objection handling is going to be quick because you're just going to reference what you had in the discovery, right? Like, I knew this woman would give me objections. If I add like, we're 64 minutes in, if I add objections here, this is going to be a long ass video. So if you want to see objections, comment the word objection down in this video. That's how I'm going to know there's demand, because there's no point in making the video if y'all don't even want to see the shit, right? But if you do, comment objection, I'll make that. But that is all for now. If you want the chance to work with me one-on-one so I can hear your calls and I can be able to give you feedback to be able to implement stuff like this, and you're not piecing together a bunch of YouTube videos, if you're ready to step it up for both you and your prospects, just hit the link in the description down below. You're going to speak directly to me. We're going to get you on the path to hitting those 20 to 30K months. As always, guys, thank you for spending over an hour with me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.